Everybody asked me when I came to Norway here, what am I going to talk about? And I think I'm just going to talk about what I love the most. And maybe tell some stories or something. I love women. I have always loved women. I love women from the height and breadth of my soul. Women have been my only hobby in life. You know, people like cars and sports, yeah, okay. While other guys are watching sports, I'm over here engaging with the women. And I really believe, and it's why I do what I do. I believe in the gentleness and kindness and goodness of the female spirit. I'm the greatest advocate of women. I adore women. And having said that, I am under no illusion that women are all, sugar and spice and peaches and cream. I have seen the kind of darkness that only a woman can unleash into this world. Yes. I have met as many bitchy, petty, vindictive women as I have met bitchy, petty, vindictive men. So I'm under no illusion that women are all these, are these enlightened species and men have to worship at the feet of them. No. But I do, because of what I've seen, and I have seen a lot. I have seen great beauty, and and because I've seen it, that's all I talk about. I wrote a book, and I'm 98% done. I'm very close to finishing it. And I've been writing it for 7 years, and it's about beauty. That's what I'm writing about. Beauty in every aspect of the word. If we concentrate and look toward the light where we want to be. Johnny talked about it earlier, the essence of worry and being down all the time, it gains you nothing. And there's a great difference between hot women and beautiful women. Hot women are everywhere. On every runway, dancing on tables and bars, short skirts, they're hot. Hot women are something that men can understand. Men know what to do with hot women. They have a front side and a back side, and they know what they want to do with them. Beautiful women, true beauty, men do not understand. Beautiful women are lonely women. All over the world, they're very lonely because men are too intimidated to go talk to them because she'll never want me, or they're drunk and spitting on them. Hey, baby. And so they never have a real authentic, beautiful women are never included in the lives of men, and they're never really included in the lives of women. They're cast apart, they're set aside, they're very lonely. And by beauty, beautiful women, I mean women that want a better experience. They want to be seen for their qualities, and not just because of the way they look. And I mean, there's beautiful women of all ages and all sizes. I remember one time, I'll tell this story. I was in Chicago with a guy who hired me. He says, I want to hire you to give me some understanding about my life and about women. And we spent all day talking, spent all afternoon talking, and then we went to a lounge in Chicago. And I remember it was kind of empty and kind of early, and we kind of went to the bar, we were getting a drink, and there was a couple of girls right down here along the bar, over here. And they smiled, and I smiled at them, and I waved them over, and they came to talk to us. The place is kind of empty, and it was just us and them. I was talking to these girls, and having a laugh, and it was fun, and introducing my friend and talking. And then I had to go to the toilet. So I said, I'll be right back. And so I went there, and I came back those minutes later, and here's the bar, like this, and the girls were talking amongst themselves in the same place that we were, and my friend was down the bar, nobody down here at all, and he was leaning away from them with his back to these women and looking down the bar here like this. And I came back and said, what's going on? Girls right there. And he said, I'm not attracted to them. I'm not attracted to them. And I said, yeah, and you just finished telling me, my friend, you're 35 years old, you've never had a girlfriend. It's because of the way you're viewing women. They're girls. I'm not attracted to them either, but they're women. They are women. If you are willing to buy this beautiful girl in the bar a drink, and you're not willing to buy a drink for that old man at the end of the bar, you fail at life. That's the way it goes. You can't turn charm on and off. It's who you are, it's not what you do. It's who you are, it's what you believe. I adore women of every age, and they can feel it. If a 70-year-old waitress is bringing me eggs, I'm like, well, you look great. She's a woman. And women respond. All women respond. You know, we're admonished, we're taught, we're said, young man, find your purpose in life. Follow your purpose, right? We've all heard this, right? I don't know about that so much. Because what is your purpose? You know, what does that mean? If somebody were to ask me what is my purpose, I would say my purpose in life is women. I've dedicated my life to women. Dedicated my life to women. I'm not an educator. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a guru. I'm not enlightened. I'm just a guy that really likes women and likes and can you see what I see? Because look what I see over here. If you could see what I see, your life would change. I remember when I lived in Vancouver years ago, and I worked in my job, my corporate job and stuff like that. The guys would say to me, "Listen, we're taking 3 weeks vacation. We're going on a boat in the ocean. We're gonna cast nets. We're gonna catch fish. We're gonna grow beards. We're gonna be men. We're gonna go out there. Yeah, we do this great excursion onto the sea." I said, "Yeah, I want to do this too. This sounds great." And then I would think this, and this is the way my life has always gone. But there's no women out there. 3 weeks, and I wouldn't go. So I've spent my entire life, as it were, at the knee of women. I have never read any books about dating, relationships, Mars and Venus, I'm okay, he's okay, whatever. I've never read any of these books. I've never taken any workshops, never seen any programs, never listened to audio. No, none of it at all. I haven't even watched my own DVDs, which I made in 2005. I haven't even seen them. It's because, I don't know, I think my only education, I've been at this a lot longer than most of you, believe me. I started to try and understand women before there was the internet. And I've been a student of women my entire life. You know that thing about 10,000 hours? I've done it. 10,000 hours is when you become an expert at what you're doing. I would say this, I'll say something very strong. And you're going to go, who's this guy think he is? I'm going to say it anyway. I know more about women than any man that I know. And there's probably lots of guys that know more than me, but I haven't met them. The heart of women. I'll say something very, very strong again. I'm not a pickup artist. If I go into a bar, anywhere, I'm just a guy. I'm like, I talk to the girls. I'm not a pickup artist. I'm not the guy who goes into a bar and gets girls and this kind of stuff. However, you put a girl across from me for an hour, and I can speak to her soul in a way that she's never heard, because I have practiced it my entire life. I've been this guy, the seducer. The seducer. 10 years ago, the media said, Zan Perrion, the world's greatest seducer. And I think, you know, all I really want is to present myself authentic in this world with clear words, clear eyes, and just say, this is me, and I want to know you, and that's it. The clarity in that. And I spent my years being the guy. And there's something you learn, something that's taken me years to learn, and I wish I would have known these kind of things when I was younger, because I didn't know. I had no hero growing up. I had no man that looked and said, yeah, I want to be like that guy, which I suspect a lot of us didn't have. We used to have heroes when we were kids. We used to say, I want to be like this guy, I want to be like that cowboy, that fireman. We had that. And now we don't really have that essence of role models in the northern hemispheres, Scandinavia, Europe, Canada, United States. We grow up, we're boys, and we're still boys when we're older. Women are dating boys. That's the truth of it. Because we're afraid to own who we are. We're afraid to stand on this earth with a feet planted and say, I'm a man, and that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. I spent all those years, I was talking to Hans, my business partner, and he said, yeah, I did 1,000 approaches when I was trying to figure this out. And I thought, wait a minute. I've never done any approaches. All these years, I've never really cold called by approaching a couple of girls. Say, hey, what's your name? Believe it or not. Because I didn't have any kind of instruction, and so I didn't have anybody say, go talk to those girls, go talk to those girls. I would go to the bar 3-4 nights a week since my early 20s and lean on the bar trying to be cool. And just stand there and hope something happens. And very occasionally something would happen. But because of it, it's interesting because I have this different way of approaching women. If you went out to the bar with me, you would think, okay, well, he's just standing there, not really doing anything, but I'm approaching every girl. I miss nothing. I see everything. I know what's happening. I can feel the energy of the room. I know who's moving around with who. It's practiced. I know who likes who. I can tell in a group setting who likes who. I can see it. I can smell it. I can feel it. I know what the girls are thinking. It's true. If you're in a group of people and you want to know which girl or which guy the girl likes, this girl over here, or which girl this particular guy likes, when the whole group is laughing, somebody says something funny, and the whole group is laughing, watch and see who they're looking at when they're laughing. That's who they like. Everything be self-conscious next time somebody tells a joke. But these little tiny things, small incremental things, there's nothing I know more than any other man except for these small incremental things. Very small. Like, I used to say for years, I talk to girls, I smile and wink. It's been written, it's like Zan says this, smile and wink at girls. And I've been saying it for years and years and years. When I talk to a girl, I smile at her, I'm winking at her, that's right. And yet, I realized only in the last couple of years, I don't do that at all. I've been teaching it. When you're talking to a girl, have a little mischief in your soul. Smile and wink at her. That's right, I'm talking to you, girl. And I don't do it. I realized this is the subtle little thing that's different, that you don't know until somebody says, wait a minute, maybe you're really doing this. And then there's this. When I'm talking to a girl, I'm smiling at her, but I'm not winking at her, I'm winking at her friend. I say something to her, I used to be great. I came to Oslo, you'd be a good girl for me, wink. Her friend. Or my friend, or anybody who else is in earshot. That subtleness is like an inclusion. It makes all the difference in the world. I have a sense of conspiracy with women, and I don't know how else to say it. Women put out signals all the time, radio signals almost, and men never pick up on it. Women say I go out and I wear a little dress and a little top and I'm dancing with my friends and I'm available, and the guys are standing around with their beers on the edges. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to initiate? Am I supposed to be in this modern age? Am I supposed to go up and say, well, and women have, there's no easy answer for women. Because if you go and initiate, you're doing the job of the man. If you go and say, you know what, I like you, and then you might marry this guy, but where was he? He didn't do his job. He's like standing around hesitant, as we all are. And I did this for years, guys. Everyone says, okay, well, Zan is this guy who understands and women, and he's good with women. He's a natural. And if you knew my story, I don't know if I told it last year, but I lived in the forest of northern Canada, poor, I'll say it really quickly, very poor, with nothing. And no interactions, no social graces of any kind, no education of any kind. My last year of school was 14 years old. And I lived in the wilderness, in the forest. You saw the movie Into the Wild? Yeah, that was me. I had a knife on my side, a rifle on my back, moccasins on my feet. I was raised in the wilderness. I know what plants to eat. I know how to catch fish with my hands. I know how to survive in the wilderness. You'd never know it because I'm such a city guy today. But I came out of that, and I had no clue. I remember I loved girls. I was 19, 20 when I first saw a city. I was 19, 20 when I first felt paved road under my feet. That wasn't gravel. Small northern town of Canada, and I came into the world, and I adored women, but I was so needy, so insecure, so lost, and so alone. And a girl would go on a date with me, and I was so adoration, putting her on a pedestal, I'll be there for you, that women are just like, okay, not interested. So I know what it's like to feel alone and wishing. And I spent all these years trying, as I said at the very beginning, trying to understand the heart of women. And I still know nothing. I know a lot, but I still know nothing. As I said, I never really approached girls because my training was my own training, which is to stand in the bar and be cool. And so I slowly, over years and years and years, developed in me that there's a girl there, and I let her know that I see her. So the girls are circulating, and I let her know I see you, and I notice you, and I'm here. If that makes any sense. I'm always doing what women do, which is putting out signals into the world. Always. If you see on the internet, some guys will say, "Well, Zan is teaching, guys how to be, poetry and romance and this kind of stuff." And I am the most direct guy I know. I'm very direct when I talk to women. I don't do any small talk of any kind. None. There's lots of time in the future to find out how many brothers and sisters she has. When I'm talking to a girl, I'm 100% sexual all the time. All the time. The waitress bringing eggs, she's 7 years old. "You look great, my dear. I love it. Look at your dress." Doesn't mean I'm soliciting sexually. It doesn't mean I'm checking her breasts out. But it means I'm not dialing myself down. I adore women. I'm a sexual guy. And there's a beauty in that. We have a toxic shame about being sexual men. In North America, there's almost the concept that all men are one step away from being a rapist. And that's wrong. That is wrong. My whole journey in life has been to reclaim that sexual nature which is a gift from God. And women are starved for it everywhere. Women say, "Where are the real men?" Women are holding up both sides of the equation. Women are being the women and the men. The women are strong all over the world, and the men are not. Women are strong all over the world because the men are not. Somebody has to do it. And it's been my lifelong journey, which I'm still trying to understand, still trying to learn, my God-given sexual nature, which is a great gift to the world. Every man, your sexual nature should be the first thing that enters a room before you enter it. It doesn't mean you're staring at girls, checking out her ass. It means you understand that you're owning that fact that you are a man, you love women. And that you would like to meet a nice girl, you would like to marry a great girl, because I'm a man. And I keep speaking this theme because it's been I'm talking to myself when I was 18, 19 years old, to be honest. I'm talking to myself. I have spent a significant amount of my life, in bed between two girls. Doesn't mean I was like having sex with them. I'm not talking about threesomes, but I'm talking about the essence of women around me all the time. My girlfriends, they are my girlfriend in my past because they know, because they accept the fact that I love women. And a girl who's my girl understands this. And I would never cheat on my girlfriend. Never would I cheat on my girl. But I want women around me all the time. And there's been many times in my life where my girlfriend is like, who I adore, and her friend is in bed with us too. Or the house is full of women, there's a dinner party and there's women. I love the energy of women. Somebody told me this one time, I'm a battery. I absorb energy from the female spirit, and I can go forever on the energy of women. If you ask me to go out to a bar in Oslo or somewhere, believe me, my friends and partners say, let's go out, and I'm like, I'm kind of tired. And they drag me out, and I'm the last guy to leave. If there's women there, I love it. I will not leave. I haven't talked to these girls over here yet. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm still energetic. I love the energy of women. And so I've constructed my life around it. I have spent a lot of my life in the company of women. Now, here's the thing that's interesting, is that I've said this for years, a man who loves women is loved by women. That's the way it goes. Every man in history who's been good at the women, who's had women in his life, who women say, oh, it's just him, is because he adores women and doesn't hide it and showers it on them. Every age, every woman. Doesn't mean that he's going to hurt or trample on his relationship. No. And she recognizes that. There's a spirit in that, and I don't know how else to say it. There are some men, and women will understand when I say this, that get a free pass. They get a free pass. Other men, you have to prove to me something here. Prove you're trustworthy. Date me 3 times. Then I know you're not going to just like have sex with me and run and high-five your buddies. You went through the motion of dating me 3 times. It shows that you put some investment into this. And so it means something. And I'll say this, every long-term relationship I've ever had, and I've had some for years, she slept with me on the first night. And I adore her. It's like the idea that, well, you won't respect me more, I respect you more because you didn't artificially go against what you feel here, this great energetic connection. And I adore this girl. I'll tell you this story. Not very many people know this. The longest relationship I had was 8 years. And it started out as a threesome. Yeah. She moved in with me. And within a week, her best friend moved in too. And I lived with these girls, both of them, for months. Every guy's dream, right? Girls just shower together, they're in the bed together, stealing my car. Where's my car? 2 girls. And I would never do it again. Because it's maybe for one night or something, but it's a mental thing that overrides something. And there was like a separation and a wedging in, and it became a mental thing. And so I remember I went for a drive with the one girl, and I said, sweetie, you got to move out. It's not good. There's a bad energy in the house. You got to move out. And she cried and said, okay, I understand. And she left, and I never saw her again. She was young then, and she traveled the world. I heard she got married some rich guy, traveled the world, had 3 kids. Never heard from this girl again. And the one that I was with for 8 years. It was my girl. And we had a great time. I adore my girl. When I have a girlfriend, I love my girl. And I would never hurt her heart. I'm not the kind of guy that wants to juggle girls. Okay, I'll see you on Monday, and You know, this idea like you have multiple girlfriends, and you're seeing one girl on Monday, and she wants to see you on Tuesday again. Well, I can't because I've got other plans, and you see another girl on Tuesday, and then you see her again, the first girl on Wednesday. This whole juggling business of multiple, I can't do it. Can't possibly do it. I want my girl around me, and I want women around me too. And I'm too lazy to go I would never go out to a bar and come back to my girlfriend and say, you know what, I met a girl and I think you'll like her, and I'm going to introduce. No, that's too presumptuous. Plus, it's too much work. I want her to get the girl. You bring some girls around me. Bring some girls and like bring it into the energy of it. So, guys ask me, you know, you've had multiple girls in your life. What is the secret of that? And I know Johnny's got some theories about that, etc. The secret is this. The secret is your girlfriend, your wife, the girl you love. You can never take your eyes off her, ever, ever, ever. Here's the secret, gentlemen. Women will give you everything if they feel that you adore them the most in this entire world. They'll give you everything. They'll allow you anything. Even the ones that say they won't. Yes, they will. Even ones that say, no, I would never, yes, they will. They will. If they feel like they're the queen, they'll give you anything. And I'll tell this story maybe. Yeah, I was in Montreal, and we had my friend had two girls that he was kind of managing. Like, didn't want, you know, he would say to the one, well, I'm busy because I'm seeing, you know, he wouldn't say he's seeing another girl. He was just like busy, and he would not see her because he wanted to see this other girl. You know, this whole juggling multiple girlfriend thing. And I said, I couldn't possibly do that. Bring them into the same room, in the same place, into the same bar at the same time. I advise them this all the time. Of course you should do this. I can't do that because there's going to be a conflict. No, you should do that because that's the greatest thing you can do, in my mind. And it's... I remember we were in Montreal, we had this party, and we were seeing these two girls. He was seeing one, I was seeing the other girl. And the girls came to the party, we had a dinner party, and the girl, let me say this straight, the one who was cooking was the second girl that he was seeing. She was cooking a dinner party, and we invited these two other girls, and he was like nervous about it, bring them. And I was sitting in a group in the living room, talking to a Colombian girl here, and another girl there, girls around me, sitting on the couch, surrounded by girls, when these two girls, who are our girlfriends, arrived. They arrived. And they came in, and they're all pretty, and they're all like throwing their coats off, and they come in, they walked into the living room, and my friend sees her, and he jumps up, and he goes, okay, he's nervous, he says, like, shake her hand, and come in and meet everybody, and the girl in the kitchen looks out and realizes, okay, there's like a tension going on between the two girls, and this kind of like, and he's trying to manage it. And my girlfriend came in, my sweet girl, and I'm sitting there talking to these girls who I adore because they're great. And I stood up and I said, girls, look at her. Look at this wonderful girl. Come here, baby, come here. Come meet these girls. Come be included in this conversation. And she lit up because she felt like she was the queen. I'm just like, I'm trying to talk about some advanced things that most men don't understand. It's like guys say, well, I remember a very famous guy who wrote a very famous book. Before the book was published, he said to me, what's the secret of threesomes? Like, I can never seem to make this happen. I'm like, okay, well, it's not like in the porno where you're laying there and the girls are going to town on you. It's like a threesome is possible, my friend, if your girl feels like she is the number one. You never take your eyes off her. It's you and the girl you love and Santa's little helper over here. She has to be the center of attention. Otherwise she feels like, okay, there's a new girl, she's younger, she's prettier. Does he like her more than me? And there's this whole tension there. Women are massively sexual. more so than men, I think. Women adore sex. If a woman knows a few things like this, no one will ever find out, ever, I'm going to be safe from diseases, pregnancy, from getting robbed. I'm going to be completely safe and comfortable. No one's ever going to know. You would be shocked what they would do. You'd be shocked. Guys all like, talking to their buddies, yeah, that girl was, that girl last night, yeah, she was easy, like I was with her and no problem. Guys who really love women lie the other way. Their friends say, what happened to with that girl last night? She was a great girl. We had talked all night. It was great. I've said for years, because I've never understood it, this whole concept of kissing and telling. I never kiss and tell. I never kiss and tell. I would never betray that trust of me, because it's our little conspiracy. No one's going to know, and that you can trust. No one's going to know. I never kiss and tell. And if people know, I don't care. You go tell all your friends. I don't mind. But I'll never betray that. Never kiss and tell. And there's almost a contract that you have with women that says, I will never, in fact, I say this with my words. When I'm talking to a girl, I don't want her to trust me because I'm trustworthy, because I prove something to her. I want to trust her because I asked for it. There. She doesn't even know me. I met a girl in Texas. We were filming a film for our online university program. And the filmmaker guy said, hey, let's go to this strip club. And it's great. Let's go to the strip club and watch the girls. And we're like, I've seen girls before. I hadn't been in a strip club in 6 years since I was in Vancouver before. And Hans, my business partner, had never been one in his life. And they said, let's go. So we went, and we're sitting there, and the girls are walking by, mostly naked, and walking by and dancing on the poles. And they're coming by your table, and they're trying to get you to buy a private dance, right? They're trying to be sweet and talk to you. And I remember this girl came up to me, and I looked at her, and I said, listen, what's your name? She told me her stage name, of course. I said, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to give you $1, my dear. You're a sweet girl. I understand you're working, trying to pay your rent. I respect, no problem. But that table over there, those guys, they're looking at you. Go talk to them. But I will not give you $1. She says, and why is that? And I said, because I'm different than other men. I see women with different eyes than most men. And she sat down. She started talking to me. She talked to me for about 45 minutes or so. And she told me her whole life story. She told me all the abuse she's had, abandonments, betrayals, being cheated on by men, all of these negative things that has happened to her in her life. And I listened to her story. I'm the greatest listener. I sat there and listened to her, and I said, you know what, I'm going to tell you something. Gabriella, her name was Gabriella. I said, I don't know you. You don't know me. I may never see you again. I'm here in Texas filming this film for a short time. I may never see you again. But if I do, look at my eyes, Gabriella. If I see you again, if I ever see you again, I'm going to see you as a beautiful girl, and I want you to show up that way. That's how I want you to show up. Yes, there's mistrust. And yes, there's abandonment. And yes, you've been hurt by men, but not here. I'm going to say something to you, and I'm going to say it strong. I will never, ever misrepresent you. I will never lie to you to get you in bed. If I want you in bed, I'm going to tell you. I'll never misrepresent, ever. And when you say that kind of thing, she was crying. And that girl, for the month that we were in Texas, she came over every day to our house in a little sundress, in a beauty. She showed up as beautiful because I asked for it. This is what I want, my dear. I understand. You don't have to accept the same thing. The ball's in your court. But if I do see you again, this is how I want it. I want you to put that aside and show up in beauty, because I will see you as maximally beautiful. When I see you, I'm going to be delighted and excited and say, wow, there's a beautiful girl just arrived. So show up that way. And women will step into the light. If you shine a light on women, they'll step into it. And she came every day to our house. She brought art, paintings, because she's a painter. And she brought coffee, because she's a coffee connoisseur. She bought us a coffee maker because we didn't have one. She came every day, and she was delightful and beautiful for the first time in her life, is what she told me. For the first time, I feel seen. For the first time, I feel noticed. My gift that I have, if I have any gift, and it's been taught to me by women, is that I really see women. I notice them. The waitress, the 7-year-old waitress, I notice you, my dear. You're wearing red lipstick. Thank you. Very feminine thing to do. Thank you, dear. I've had the concept that they're all my girls. They are all my girls. Is it true? Well, does it mean they're going to be my girlfriend? No. I walked into an elevator one time in Las Vegas, and on the top floor of this building, I was going to go down, and these two older women, 60 years old, their hair was up, sparkly gowns, dressed to the nines. I walked in and I said, wow, look at you girls. Where are you going? Dressed up so beautifully. And then they shining like this, and they said, we're going to go meet our husbands. We have a great, an event we're going to downstairs. I said, listen, girls, call your husbands and tell them you're sick and come out with me. You look great. Were they under any illusion that I was trying to pick them up? No. Was I trying to pick them up? No. But they shone like stars. Because it's a gift you give to women. That is a man who loves women gives that to all women. He makes them say, you know what? You in my presence are beautiful. I talk, this about beauty. My book is about beauty. Beauty needs a witness. That's your role as men. Men have such a confusion today because we don't know our role anymore. We used to have 3 things that our role was. We were the protectors of women, we're the providers of women, and we're the procreators. Well, guess what? Women do not need us to protect them anymore. And women can provide for herself, thank you very much, in today's society. And science is just a few beakers away from getting rid of us being necessary for procreation too. So we have lost our identity as men. What is our role? This is the confusion of men. We don't know what our role is. Women don't need us for those things anymore. This is a large part of the reason we're confused. But there's one thing that can never be taken away from the role of men. The role of man is this. Because woman at heart is still a woman. She'll always ever be a woman. And women respond to the same things they've always responded to. The role of men is to celebrate women. When you can celebrate that woman, like I did Gabriella, the exotic dancer, that I did the 7-year-old waitress, there are 2 women in the elevator, I celebrate and say, you're women, and I love it. Thank you for being women. They step into the light. They step into the light. They become beautiful. Beauty needs a witness. I'll tell another story. I was at a long time ago, I was at kind of a party at a loungy type thing, and there was 3 girls, pretty girls, sitting on a couch, on a plush couch, and they're all sitting there. And of course, I'm over there, and the girl in the middle is the one I like. Well, I like the girl in the middle, so that was my target. But I sat on the end of the couch, on the arm of the couch, on this side, by this girl. The one on this side. And so, of course, she's the nearby girl, so I'm talking to her mostly. But I'm like laughing and leaning over and talking to all 3 girls, moving myself towards the center girl. And I was there, and there was a guy came up who I kind of knew. And I was talking to this girl, this sweet girl beside me. He walked up, and he comes up, and he says in a stage whisper, loud enough that this girl right beside me heard it. He said, "What are you doing, Zan? The girl's fat. You trying to pick up a fat chick? Huh?" And he walked off through the crowd. And I looked down at her, and her face fell. And instantly she recovered. And I remember thinking, wow, wow, wow. What a failing in life that is. And I said, you know what, my dear, you come with me, come. And I took her by the hand, and I took her with me for the rest of the evening, and I walked around the party with her, walked around the lounge, we tipped, we bought drinks, we danced, And you know what? And I made sure that the world could see what I see in her, which is a real beauty. And I tell you, I think that is the essence of everything I'm trying to understand for myself and for what I'm trying to instruct men, is that women will give you anything. Women will step into the light that you create. Beauty needs a witness. And I really believe in it. I believe in it very strongly. I'm a great believer in women. I believe in women more than women believe in themselves. And it's true. And you know, the idea of putting a woman on a pedestal, I'm the most highly complimentary guy. I will compliment women and say, "You wearing red lipstick? You look great. And look at you in your dress. Come on. I love it." Right? You can't do that. That's too needy. You're like complimenting women. These women know they're beautiful. Okay, well, it comes from your intention. Your intention speaks volumes, and women know your intentions. A woman told me, I can see a man's entire belief system the moment he walks up to me. You think you can fool women by being cool? By being aloof? By acting like you got options? Hey, girl. Nice to meet you. Walk around with your imaginary lats. Hey. Women know. Women have been reading faces their whole lives, and you have not, gentlemen. When even the games of women and men, if you know, in Canada we have this game called King of the Hill. You have a snow pile or something, and all the boys want to be the top, and you fight and push everybody off and to be the king of the hill, right? You all know this game, right? Women would play the same game too. They want the top too, but they want it in consensus with others. Okay, you go first, and then I'll go, and you be the king. And they do it in the context of sharing. There was a study done that I read about in the New York Times where they had a room, and they did an experiment. And they took all these mothers with little daughters, toddlers. And they took the mother and the little girl, and they said, okay, go into this room, and the room is full of toys. And the only instruction they gave the mother, and there's cameras everywhere, is your daughter can play with any toy in the room, but in the center, there's a little table, and in the middle of the table is a toy cow. A cow. And the instruction from the researchers was, your child can play with anything in this room, but not that cow. Just make sure they don't play with the cow, that's it. It's only instruction. So the mother would go in there, and she'd say, sweetie, you can play with anything in this room, but you can't touch this cow, okay? There's dollies, all these toys. And the little girls, 100% of them did this. They looked at the cow, because now it's the object of desire. They looked at the cow, and they're playing with this doll over here, and they look at the cow, and they look at the mother's face. And the mother would just have to raise an eyebrow, and she looks away, playing. Look at the cow again, look at her mother's face. Right? Back here. They did the same experiment now with the mothers and little boys. Same instruction. The mother said, son, you can play with any of these toys, cars and trucks, but you can't play with that toy cow. And what did the little boys do? Head straight for the cow. Where they had to be physically restrained. No, you can't play with it. You can play with this. No. Never once did they look at their mother's face. That demonstrates 100% the difference between men and women. Men are fixed on the goal. Women want that goal as much. That toy cow is just as desirable with women, but they want it in the context of relationship. They're always checking, since they're little girls, they're always checking in how everybody's face is on this, how they're reacting to this. This is why women have been reading faces their whole lives, and you have not, men. You want to fool women? No, they can read it on your face, what you really believe. You can't fool women. You think you can. They've been reading faces their whole lives. Men have a hidden agenda. And they think, my agenda is I'm going to get this girl's phone number. So I'm with my buddies, I'm drinking a beer. I say, well, talk to her. Oh, okay. Go get her number. Now I have an agenda. Now I have a goal, which is the toy cow, which is the phone number. So when I'm talking to this girl over here, I get up my nerve, I have a couple beers, I go talk to her. Everything she's saying to me, I'm not really listening because I'm trying to angle towards my goal, which is to get the phone number. So I'm trying to adjust the conversation, adjust everything to get my result, which is the phone number. And when we get the phone number, we're like, yeah, I got my result. If we didn't get it, we failed. Oh, I failed in my goal. And this is why we have this concept of success and failure. And this is why I'm trying to say to guys, you cannot fail if you're just being a man and saying, wow, you look great, and I'm just speaking my truth. Just speaking my truth. No woman ever looks at me, and this is not always true, believe me. I told you, in my 20s, I'm 48 now. In my 20s, I was extremely needy and insecure. If you saw the movie Hitch, how many saw the movie Hitch? And you saw the scene where it flashes back to his college days, and he's like, and the girl he likes is getting into the car, and he's like braces on his teeth, and he runs up to the car, and he's crying, and he's got his face up the window, and she's like, let's get out of here. I saw that in the theater, and I thought, oh my God, that's me. That was me. I have the exact same story. The same thing happened to me, where it's embarrassing, but it's true. The girl I liked, I'm probably 19, 20. The girl I liked was getting on the back of a motorcycle of some guy. The girl that I was dating for a while, and the love of my life, of course. I'll be lost without her. And I'm crying. And I'm saying, I'll be here for you. You have to go see. You have to go check it out. I understand. I'll be here for you. You'll see. You'll find out. That, and I'll be waiting for you. I'll be here. And she's like, let's go. Let's get out of here. And they're gone. I have stories like that. Whew. Years of it, guys. Years of stories like that. And so I know. Like I said, I set out to be a student of women. No woman today would ever look at me and say, he's a nice guy, but no woman would ever put me in the friend zone today. Doesn't mean they like me. Doesn't mean they're attracted to me. Doesn't mean they want me. But they would never think he's a nice guy, but they know what I'm about. They know who I am and what I love and what I adore. I've said this for years. What kind of women put men in the friend zone? None. You do it to yourself. It's the way you present yourself. A woman might not be attracted to me, but you never think, well, he's a nice guy. No, never. And the thing about, I'm rambling, but I'm going to keep going. The thing about you tell me when I'm done. Yeah. The thing about the friend zone, we say, guys ask this question all the time. I like this girl. I've liked her for a year, liked her for 2 years. You know, I drive her to parties. I go to parties with her. She invites me to go to movies with her. She calls me in the middle of the night when she's upset about something, and I'm there for her 100% all the time. How many people understand that feeling of the friend zone of a girl you really like and it just never seems to materialize? The friend zone. And guys say to me all the time, how do I solve this? A guy came to Romania. I was in Romania. A guy from Germany came and said, you know, I have this girl. For 2 years I've been seeing her. And I'm tired of it. I really like her. And I've told her this. And I've tried. And she's like, I don't want to ruin the friendship. You're my best friend. And so how do you get out of the friend zone? How do you solve this? The answer is you do not. You cannot get out of the friend zone except for one thing. And it's not guaranteed. If this guy came to Bucharest from Germany and he spent a week with us, and then he said, and I said to him, go back and be a man. Go back and change the way you are. Go back and show her that I'm a man and I need respect and, you know, this kind of thing, right? And like, I'm a guy. Well, what will happen if he did that? He goes back and says, you know, I've had enough of this. He goes up to her and she says, oh, I'm glad you're back. It's good to see you. And he puts his arm around her and tries to kiss her. It's like icky, like we're friends and you're ruining this kind of thing. But if he went back and he said to her, you know what? He sees her again after a week and he says, you know what? I went to Bucharest. I went to Romania for a week. I thought about my life. I thought about who I am. And I realized, he's talking to this girl here, his friend. And I realized I haven't been as dynamic and interesting as I could be in life. And I did a lot of soul searching, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it, my dear. I am going to become the greatest lover a woman has ever known. That's my goal in life, starting right now. I'm going to change the way women perceive me. I'm always the friend. I'm always the nice guy. And I'm going to change it. And some woman is going to teach me how to be this great lover. I'm not talking about her. Some woman is going to teach me how to be this. In other words, he's announcing a change. If he comes back and acts different to this girl, she's like, hello. But if he comes back and says, I'm going to change. I haven't been what I want to be, and I'm going to change that right now. Now she sees a man in front of her. Oh, now I respect this guy. Now he showed up. Now he showed up as a man. Which is, I'll tell you another story. I said I'm 48. My 40th birthday party was very interesting. I was living with a girl at the time, my girlfriend, who I adored. And I was with this girl for 4 years. My 40th birthday party, I walked into my house at the end of the day, and she had a surprise party for me. Surprise. And she had champagne, and there's pictures of me on the wall, and there's balloons. And because this lovely girl knew me so well, she had invited all of the ex-girlfriends she could find of mine to this party. It's true. And it was a lingerie party. I was 40 years old, I walked into this, and she's like in her lingerie, and all the girls are there in their lingerie, and they had brought all their boyfriends and husbands. And the guys were wearing pajamas and housecoats and slippers, and it was like my 80-year-old neighbor, who, one of my best friends in the world, this man, and his 75-year-old wife, they were there in their slippers and housecoats, and she created this because she knows I love the energy of women, and I've never had a bad breakup with women. Well, I did when I was younger, for sure. And these women were part of my life. Women that I knew, and she brought them in. She said, you know what? Because of your adoration for these women and this connection you still have with them, they brought them all there. And there was no jealousy, guys. Men who are dating or married to an ex-girlfriend of mine, there's no jealousy. Because I'm not a threat. Women say to them, they almost say this to them, I think. They say, you can be jealous of, because these guys are jealous, you can be jealous of any guy, but not him. You can't be jealous of him. And they say, okay. And these guys all came there, and all the girls are dancing to, music and their lingerie and dancing like this. And all the guys are standing around with cigars and clinking, and this is great. This is profound. I went out onto my balcony. I remember looking back in the room, and the guys are all smiling and watching the girls dance because it's great. And the girls are dancing, and I look back there and I'm thinking, today I'm 40 years old. And everybody here is here. These beautiful people are here to celebrate me. Me! I tell you, that was a profound moment in my life. And I thought, this is the way it should be. This is the way life should be. This is how it should be. There's no taking. It's all sharing. There's no manipulation. There's no cheating in that. There's no trying to, it's just an honest way of being. And I am true to myself these days, and my true nature is I adore women, and I'll always adore women. And the girls who I love, and the reason I like her, the reason I adore her, the reason she's my girlfriend, is because she recognizes this and doesn't try and change that. Thank you, baby. I would never hurt her. Never. I said I spent a lot of time in bed between two girls. My girlfriend here, her best friend there. I would never, sneaky over here. sneaky behind. Never do that. Never. But I want to bring it. There's boobies here and boobies here. It's perfect for me. Thank you. I adore it. Yeah, so it's like this concept of speaking what you want. Women will give you what you ask for. Women will show up the way you ask them to show up. That's the way it is. And I ask it with words. I never leave anything a chance. I always say honesty is the greatest aphrodisiac. It is. Honesty is the greatest aphrodisiac. If you're honest, I never judge what a guy wants. A guy might want to get a one-night stand, or a threesome, or get a girlfriend, or get married, or find the one. It doesn't matter what that is. Honesty will work for all of them. If you're honest about it, your intentions, this is my intention. This is what I would like. Women would say, you know, I want something different than that. When someone will say, you know what, I like that. I'll do that too. Thank you. Thank you for being refreshing and being honest. Honesty is the greatest aphrodisiac. And for me, my whole journey is trying to understand who I am and what I want. And the only thing I ever do with women, I never ask for anything. I never say, what are you doing on Friday night? I say, Friday night, you and I should get together. I say statements. I don't ask for anything ever. Statements, never questions. Would you like to go for coffee sometime? No, I say, you know what, you and I should go for coffee because look at you. It'd be great. You're totally my type of girl. I can't. I'm married. I didn't know that. And another time and place, you'd be my girl and you know it. That's how I talk to women. Of course, look at you. It's obvious. And I respect it. I've jumped out of a few bedroom windows in my time, but I have no energy for that anymore. It's been a long time. But just to speak your truth, and women will show up into that. To only ask for what you want. Johnny said it here, and I completely agree with it. Authentic selfishness. To truly wake up in the morning and say, who am I and what do I want? Most of us spend our lives making sure other people are comfortable. That includes our parents, our friends, co-workers, making sure that they're comfortable with our decisions. You should never, ever do that again. Never. It's not your responsibility how people react to you being honest about yourself. To only ask what's needed for you. Period. That authentic selfishness is the greatest gift you can give to the world. It is the greatest thing you can do for your family and friends. It's you being alive and truthful and going forward. We spend our lives dialing ourselves down so people are not comfortable. But I only say what I want. That's it. When I'm talking to a girl, I never ask her for anything. I just say, you know what? You and I should get together because it makes sense to me. Look at you. Look at you in that dress. Of course. I can't. I understand. I understand. That's okay. I did my job as a man. I showed up. I said what I said what I want. I'm not asking. You can't reject it. You can't reject me because I'm just saying what I would like to have happen in this world. That's it. Statements. And a guy said to me one time, I remember, he said, wait, he stood up in an event I did in Latin America, actually, and he said, you know what, I don't know if you can just say what you want, and that's a good thing, because I saw a girl today. I saw a very pretty girl today, and I said, I want her. I want this girl. I lusted after this girl. She's really beautiful to me. I really want this girl. But I can't because I have a wife and 2 kids. I can't have what I want. So your premise is false. What you're saying is you can't. It's not true. I can't have what I want because I got this. So I can't do it. And I said to him, wait a minute. You just emphasized exactly what I'm saying. When did your wife and 2 kids become an obligation and not a choice. When the hell did that happen? I can't have what I want because I'm stuck with this. No, reframe it, I said to him. I want this, but I can't have it because I got this. No, you have two things you want. It's always, everything in life is this, guys. You have two things you want. I want this woman because she's beautiful to me, which is a good thing. That's a good desire. And I want my family to remain intact. I don't want the trouble of it. I want to, and you want one thing more than the other, and that's it. Simple choice. Everything, all your decisions, all of your things in life can be decided. What do you want the most? Which is authentic self. And what do I want? Do I want this woman? Or do I want my family intact? And when you've examined it and made a mindful choice, it's a great thing. It doesn't matter which choice you choose. Take morality out of it, etc. Society frowning, whatever. If this man said, I've examined my heart and I want this more than I want this, there's a great decision. That's authentic. Of course, there's consequences around it. Of course, there's trouble, but he's mindfully, artfully said, I'm making a mindful choice. I'm choosing something. If he said, you know what, I want this woman, but this is more important to me, I'm going to mindfully choose this. That's a great choice too. But what this guy does, what most of us do, we say, I want this, but I'm stuck with this, I can't have it. He makes no choice, which is to say, he makes a choice. He makes a choice for nothing, for mediocrity, for emptiness. And guess what? Everybody loses. That girl loses, his family loses, and he loses. Everybody loses in that situation because he didn't mindfully choose anything. He just I went with the flow. Blah, I'm stuck in my job. I'm stuck with this family. I didn't mindfully choose this. And so when he goes home that night and I'm stuck with my family and I can't have that woman, he's not fully present with his family. But if he said, you know what, I want this girl, but this is I really want to keep this intact. I like this. I want this more than I want that. When he goes back home, he can now look at his wife and his two children in the eye and say, you know, I am here because of a choice. It's a great thing, not an obligation. Obligations are sin. Commitments are great. Obligations are sin in my mind. And to always head to what you want, period. Everything can be weighed in. What do I want the most? It'll guide your life. It'll guide all your decisions. And so, Donna, I rambled on a bit, guys, and I said some stories, and I tried to give you an essence of how I see the world, how I see the beauty of women, which I love it. I really believe in women. And I have nothing more to teach than that. I am not a guy who has any kind of answers, but I ask great questions. Anybody that says, I have the answer for that, yeah, whatever. Always, always seek mystery. Small minds sit in answers, and great minds sit in questions. They're always like, what? I want to know. So my whole journey is like the question of trying to understand, who am I? What is the mystery? What is the myth of me? What is your personal myth? What is the myth of you? Would you die for your own cause, for the cause of you? I think that's, if we wake up and we say, who am I and what do I want in this world? The moment you make that choice, you don't know how to do things. You don't know where you're going to go. You don't know what else to do. But you make that mindful step forward of saying, I want to understand my life. I want to step forward in a meaningful way. I want to have a better experience with the women. How? I don't know. The how will take care of itself. You take that step forward and say, I want this. Women will look at you with different eyes. That's the way it goes. They will say, hey, there's a man here. A man just arrived. He's not the tallest, he's not the most good looking, but there's something about him. Something about him. That's all. I'll be quiet. Where is the fierceness we used to have? Why do women never feel? Why are we so top-heavy that when we talk to a woman, she says, well, I have a boyfriend, we flinch. I'm sorry. We flinch. Where's the strength of men?